1819. A theology student at Oxford University buys a small white terrier from a milkman. The dog's name is Trump. The student's name is John Russell. He is 24 years old. He does not know it yet, but that single purchase will create one of the most physically extreme dog breeds on the planet. A 6-kilogram animal that can outrun, outjump, and outlast dogs 4 times its size. Not through aggression, through engineering. 3 things you will learn in the next 10 minutes.
First, the specific metabolic mutation that lets a Jack Russell run for 5 hours without rest. Second, the reason your Jack Russell can jump 1.5 meters straight up, which is the equivalent of a human clearing a 3-story building from a standing start. Third, why every attempt to tire out your Jack Russell is failing, and what the science says you should do instead. Begin with the metabolism. In 2014, researchers at the Royal Veterinary College in London published a study comparing oxygen consumption rates across 26 dog breeds during sustained trotting. The Jack Russell Terrier had the highest VO2 max relative to body mass of any breed under 10 kilograms, higher than the Border Terrier, higher than the miniature Pinscher, higher than the Whippet at equivalent body weight scaling. What does this mean in practice? It means your Jack Russell processes oxygen more efficiently per gram of muscle than almost any dog alive. Its mitochondrial density in fast-twitch muscle fibers is comparable to that of sled dogs. Sled dogs. Animals bred to pull loads across frozen tundra for 12 hours. Your 6-kilogram house pet shares their cellular machinery. This was not an accident. Reverend John Russell needed a dog that could keep pace with a horse across the Devon countryside for an entire day of fox hunting. Not sprinting, sustained effort. The fox hunt could cover 15 to 20 miles of rough terrain. The dog had to run every step of it, then go underground into the fox's earth, work the fox for however long it took, and still have enough energy to walk home. Russell bred for endurance, with a single-mindedness that would impress a modern sports scientist. He crossed his founding terriers with dogs selected for stamina, not appearance. He rejected any dog that tired before the horses. He rejected any dog that was too large to fit underground. He rejected any dog that was too small to keep up overground. The result was a metabolic compromise that should not exist. A dog small enough to enter a foxhole, with the cardiovascular system of an animal twice its size. Now the jumping. A healthy adult Jack Russell can clear 1.5 meters vertically from a standstill. Some documented individuals have cleared 1.7 meters. The world record for a human standing vertical jump is approximately 1.6 meters, set by a professional athlete weighing 80 kilograms with years of plyometric training. The Jack Russell weighs 6 kilograms and has never been to a gym. The mechanism is in the hindquarters. Jack Russells have disproportionately long hind limbs relative to their body length, compared to other terrier breeds. The gastrocnemius and biceps femoris muscles show a higher percentage of type 2 fast-twitch fibers. The Achilles tendon is proportionally thicker, allowing greater elastic energy storage. In simple terms, the back legs of a Jack Russell are spring-loaded. This was also not an accident. When a terrier goes to ground, it enters a narrow tunnel. The entrance may be a vertical shaft. The dog needs to launch itself downward and control the landing. When it finds the fox and the fox bolts, the dog needs to explode upward and outward from the hole to continue the chase. The jump is not entertainment. The jump is the transition between underground work and overground pursuit. Here is where most owners go wrong. They see the energy. They see the jumping. They think, this dog needs to be tired out. They throw the ball 100 times. They take the dog on a 3-mile run. They come home exhausted. The dog takes a 20-minute nap and wakes up ready for round 2. This is because you are training the wrong system. Physical exercise in a Jack Russell activates the cardiovascular system, which, as we just covered, is built for endurance. You cannot drain it with a jog. That is like trying to empty a swimming pool with a coffee cup. The water refills faster than you can scoop. What actually tires a Jack Russell is cognitive load. The brain of a Jack Russell Terrier uses roughly 20% of its metabolic budget, similar to the ratio in wolves and significantly higher than in brachycephalic breeds. When a Jack Russell is solving a problem, tracking a scent, learning a new command, figuring out a puzzle feeder, its brain burns glucose at a rate that genuinely depletes available energy. A study from the Family Dog Project at Eotvos Lorand University in 2018 compared the calming effects of physical exercise versus cognitive enrichment in high-drive terrier breeds.
Dogs that received 30 minutes of nose work showed lower cortisol and higher rest duration in the following 4 hours than dogs that received 60 minutes of fetch. Half the time, twice the calm. The implication is direct. Your Jack Russell does not need more running. It needs more thinking.
This explains a behavior that baffles every new Jack Russell owner. The destruction. The couch cushion shredded into 1,000 pieces. The garden dug up like an archaeological excavation. The shoes disassembled with surgical precision. This is not spite. This is not boredom in the way you understand boredom. This is a brain operating at full capacity with no approved target. The Jack Russell's cognitive architecture is built for problem solving in real time. Find the fox, navigate the tunnel, assess the threat, choose a strategy, react, adapt. In the absence of a real problem, the brain manufactures one. The couch cushion becomes a prey item. The garden becomes a dig site. The shoe becomes something to disassemble and analyze. The dog is not misbehaving. It is using the only available materials to do the job it was born to do. Reverend Russell himself understood this. In his journals, he described his terriers not as pets, but as colleagues. He noted that a terrier kept idle for more than 2 days became, in his words, unmanageable and fractious. 2 days, in 1837. The breed has not changed. Our expectations have. Here is what the research suggests. A Jack Russell needs a minimum of 2 structured cognitive sessions per day. These can be nose work, hidden treat searches, new trick training, puzzle feeders, or any activity that requires the dog to make decisions. Physical exercise remains important, but should serve the cardiovascular system, not attempt to drain it. 2 20-minute walks at the dog's pace, meaning they choose when to stop and smell and where to investigate, combined with 2 15-minute cognitive sessions will produce a calmer dog than 2 hours of fetch. The Jack Russell Terrier is not the most energetic dog because something went wrong. It is the most energetic dog because everything went right. 200 years of breeding for a single purpose created a metabolic and cognitive machine of extraordinary efficiency. The energy is not a flaw. It is the product of one of the most successful selective breeding programs in canine history. The problem was never the dog. The problem is that we brought a professional athlete home and asked it to be a spectator. Subscribe to Russell Mind, because if you do not, your Jack Russell will use its problem-solving brain to figure out how to open the refrigerator, eat everything inside, and close it again so you blame the cat. And it will succeed, because that is what it was built to do.